Hey, Coach, we are ready whenever you are.
All right, good. Guys that didn't practice today were Rashard Fenton, Willie Gay, and Sammy Watkins. They're all making progress. Everybody else was out there moving around. Clyde got some work in today, which was good, and feeling better every day. Every day that we go along here. So, listen, we look forward to the challenge of playing the Browns. I mean, they're a heck of a football team. I mean, you get to this time of the year and you're playing against the best. So we've had a chance to look at them on tape and respect the heck out of them, the job that they've done, coaching and playing. So, again, it was good to get started with our practice today, and we'll keep working, make sure we get everything down for the game plan and for Sunday. All right, that time's yours.
We'll go first to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. I wonder, just generally speaking, not this game, but kind of every game generally, how much of your game planning are you pretty aware of what the other team's going to do, in the sense that obviously teams have strengths and weaknesses, but I assume that they try and disguise their weaknesses a little bit. So how much can you actually prepare for exactly what you're going to see on any given Sunday?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, teams, it's hard to just replace the whole defense and or offense and just start from scratch. So, and they wouldn't be here if they weren't good at what they did. So normally they come out and it's similar to what they've done, and then they'll have a wrinkle here or there for your game. That doesn't mean that won't favor one. If a team has 5 coverages, that they don't favor one over the other, or one front over the other, or whatever it might be, to play against what they consider your weaknesses or matchups. So that's kind of how it rolls. But for the most part, things are, after you get through about the first 4 games of the season, everything's somewhat, there's a base to most of the things. Yeah.
Go next to Dave Scretta. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Andy, how are you doing? I asked Kevin Stefanski a similar question earlier, but John Dorsey has kind of his paw prints on both of these teams. I wonder if, when you look at the Browns, if you see that in personnel and style and scheme, the things that he maybe brought to that organization when they were turning it around.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, he did a nice job here and there, and so of bringing people in and they can play football, and so you see that, and yes, I would say I'd answer you yes. I can see that.
Let's go next to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, the 2 things are real quick. Number one, I know there was a statement or a message, I guess, from the PR department about helicopters going by. Do you have a story like back in your career where you remember like kind of the spy where people were looking in on your practice? That's number one. If there just is any history around teams trying to get that edge that way. And then number 2, is it possible to win in the playoffs if your quarterback doesn't play well?
Yeah. So just with the helicopters, I mean, it's the noise and they're obviously filming your practice. So I mean, it's you don't necessarily want that out there, but I understand everybody wants to see it and that, but it's just that's part of the relationship that we have with the media, that you take care of business. What was your other part, Doug? You hit me with the helicopter. I haven't had a lot of those. So.
Sorry about that. The other part is, when you get to this point, right, everybody's good. Can anybody, not just your team, but can any team win playoff games if their quarterback doesn't play well?
Well, yeah, I'd say yes. I mean, but I'd say that about anybody. And then likewise, if you're not coaching well, you have that likewise. So, normally you get to this point, and normally everybody does a pretty decent job. So, and it's just great competition. That's the part I love about this. You get the kind of the cream of the crop, and this league is so competitive anyways, and then you add into it these teams that have just really excelled, and you love that challenge. I mean, it's an awesome deal. It's hard to explain, but it's awesome.
Go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach. We got to speak with Dylan a couple weeks back, and he had mentioned Clyde was just really attacking his injury, really going at the rehab, trying to do everything in his power to get here for this week. What have you seen from him in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he does. I've had a chance to see him in a couple of the rehab procedures as of late, and he gets after it. And, a lot of it is the way you approach it and the trust you have in the trainers and so on. I mean, we've all had injuries. I mean, you guys have had injuries too, so you know that you think you're going to break something by pushing it, but normally the trainers have a pretty good feel on what you can do and can't do. So, and you kind of surprise yourself. But I'll tell you, this kid, he just kind of went right at it. I mean, he was fearless with it, and as a result, I'd tell you he's probably a little bit ahead, and we just got to evaluate him, and we're not going to do anything to jeopardize him or his career. I mean, that's not what we're doing. We're just we've taken it day by day with him, and we'll keep doing that and just see how he does here.
Go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy. I understand the Browns have another good back in Nick Chubb and a lot of other good players as well. But I was wondering with regard to Kareem Hunt, whether maybe he gives them a capability they otherwise wouldn't have when he's in their lineup.
He's a heck of a player. Absolutely. Both those two. I mean, that's a dynamic duo right there. Those guys, man, they are good football players. And listen, we love Kareem. I mean, he was here, and he's a heck of a kid. And, I'm so happy for him that he's doing well. And really, when it's all said and done, that's the most important thing. You put the game aside and want to make sure these guys end up heading the right direction for them so they can sustain that the rest of their life, and I'm happy for them.
Go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Andy, I know we talked, before the regular season finale that this week was going to be somewhere where you have to sort of simulate the intensity that you're going to see in the playoffs, and guys obviously having close to 3 weeks off. Just how important are the next 2 days, and what do you want to see in terms of how much you can increase sort of the tempo or the intensity of practice that will prepare you for Sunday?
Yeah, well, our guys, you know how we do it, so I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, but our guys practice fast, and they do that day in and day out, and that's an important quality to have, especially at this time of the year and the way we've been scheduled here. So I don't think any of that will change once we get into tomorrow and Friday. These guys practice hard and fast. So, but it is important. I mean, for your question, to answer your question, it's important that that's what takes place. And that's all part of getting ready to play against a great football team. So that's what we're doing.
Go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam. Give it a shot, Sam. There you go. All
Guys,
right,
can you hear me now? Sorry.
there we go.
Gotcha.
Sorry, my fault. I wanted to ask you about Tyron. I know he was a hell of a player before he got here. But, 2 years and 2 first-team All-Pros. I know people that have watched him throughout his career say this is the best he's played. From your point of view, I'm just wondering is there something schematically or culture or maybe just a long-term commitment? What do you think it is about what you have here that has sort of brought out his best?
Yeah, well, he's a natural-born leader, so he comes into a situation where that was needed, I thought, and at that particular time. And then you add that in with the scheme that Spags has. You look at the guys that have played in that position, and Spags moves them all around. So, I mean, you can play him at corner, you can play him inside, you can play him deep. So you've got all kinds of flexibility with him. And you look at the Dawkins and those players that have traditionally been in that position, and they've had success with it. And it frees them up to let their personalities show and their abilities to show.
Got time for 2 more. We'll go Vahe and then Herbie to close us out. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Andy. Brad, I'll just ask one set of this first, and then if I could follow up after Andy answers. Andy, it's a long time ago, 2005, but I'm curious, did you even meet Kevin Stefanski when he was a training camp intern that year?
I knew who he was. He was a heck of a football player right there at Penn. So I followed Penn. I had a couple assistants that had been there and coached there. So I knew about. I was close with the head coach there, and it's a neat program. So I mean, it was right there by our facility, and the tradition's phenomenal. So, anyways, all that said, I knew who he was, and yes, I did see him. Yeah.
And just along those lines, there's a lot of things that you coach for, but I think you've indicated it's pretty meaningful to you to see your guys go on to other jobs or guys that are kind of under your tree. Can you express why what it does mean to you, why that matters?
Yeah, I just think it. These guys work their tail off. So, and they work all the areas of what you need to be a good football coach, and it's not all X's and O's. I mean, that's a big part of it, but it's not all X's and O's. It's how you deal with people and take care of your players, and at the same time try to give them whatever they need to be the best they possibly can be. And so you see guys go through this, and you see their players mature, you see them mature, and then you go, well, heck, they sure deserve a job, to have an opportunity to run their own building and then teach others, how to do the same thing. So I think it's kind of a neat process as it works out over the years. I'm part of that process because of Mike Holmgren, so I've lived this, and it's kind of a neat deal to be a part of.
We'll go last to Herbie T.O.B. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon.
All right, Herbie.
I've asked you a couple times in the past month about Mitchell Schwartz, and then here we are in the postseason, and I'm curious now how much of a scenario exists in your mind that you could potentially get him back if you advance in the postseason, or is this just a matter of making sure his back is okay for the 2021 regular season?
Yeah, backs are fickle, man, and so he's not going to be back this week, and then we're literally taking that day by day. I mean, it's these things are crazy. There's nobody that wants to play more than this guy. So I mean, I know how he's wired. I mean, you don't play all the games he played in a row and not enjoy the game. So, but he physically can't do that right now, and we'll just see how it goes down the road. I don't think anybody's lost hope in that. We just sometimes time is an important thing here.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, guys, we got Tyreek Hill coming your way next. Hey, Ty.
Hey.
If you're ready to get started, we'll start with Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Tarek.
What's up, man?
Hey, whenever you're preparing for any opponent, how much of your preparation is gauging a cornerback's perceived weaknesses versus just trying to fine tune what you do best?
You know what? I don't know, man. I just watch. I just usually just watch tendencies. I feel like every opponent, like you said, is good at some things. But I just pretty much just watch tendencies. I feel like no player really has weaknesses in the NFL. Because this is the highest level that you can play at. So yeah.
Let's go next to Herbie T.O.B. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Tyreek, belated Happy New Year since we didn't get a chance to chat with you before the year changed.
Oh, yeah.
We know the plays you've made, 1,200 yards, almost 1,300 yards receiving, 15 receiving touchdowns. But as you look back at the 2020 season, what plays stand out to you that you didn't make and that you wish you could have had back?
Definitely the Denver Bronco play, man. The catch that wasn't ruled a catch. So yeah, that play like always sticks out, to me the most, because I'm always preaching, judge the ball correctly when it's in the air. So I feel like I could have done a better job judging the ball. I just try to make a crazy catch, a crazy acrobatic catch, trying to get on Sports in the top 10, so just make the catch, man, and just, come down with the play, and I would have had the record of 16 touchdowns. That like hunts me like every night, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have caught it. So yeah, just that one play right there.
Go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Tyreek, I know that you had been dealing with some kind of hamstring issue toward the end of the season. How much did you benefit from these past couple weeks off? And I was wondering if you could just describe how fresh you're feeling right now.
Well, I feel great, man. I just feel like our medical team here does a tremendous job of just, allowing us to like go out and work with, our like off-field trainers and stuff like that. So I had a chance to go, work out with Luther, go to this other place I worked out, in the offseason and get some more work, outside of, the Chiefs facility. So they allowed me to do that, so right now I'm feeling great. Like I'm feeling good, man. So I'm ready. I'm excited.
Go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Tyreek, it's been 2 weeks since you played in a game now. Did you do anything special to stay sharp for this game coming up or anything special at all on you out of the ordinary?
Nah, man, I just been training hard. Just like I just told Pete, I just been training hard. I've been on the jugs a lot. I've been on the tennis balls late at night. I've even been running a few routes, on my own outside of, what we do here with the Chiefs. So, I mean, you always got to keep the knife sharp, man. Always, so I'm ready.
Good time for a couple more. We'll go Karen and then Matt. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, Tommy.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. Hey, what is your take on the Cleveland Browns? You watched the game they played to continue in the playoffs. What's your overall impression of them?
Well, they definitely a building team, So, very good team, very young team. Offense is tremendous. Defense is good, So I feel like we cannot take this opponent lightly. Like we got to play this game just like any other game. Come out, play hard, and just be the Chiefs. So they got a bunch of playmakers on both sides of the ball. So we just got to play ball. And I know my brothers in the locker room, like all of them ready for the challenge. So it's gonna be a good game. So no, you're not gonna get the great. Face mask comment from me. No, you're not. Let's go.
We'll go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Ty, good to see you.
Good to see you, bud.
Hey, last year the big topic for the playoffs was the slow starts and getting out of the opposites. Is that anything that you guys talk about this year as motivation? And is there anything that you're focusing on from your spot to feel like that you can get the offense going faster?
Yeah. Our wideout coach brought it up today. Well, not today, probably yesterday, I believe. He was like, let's not put ourselves in that same position as we did last year, because every team isn't going to be the same, So we just got to come out and just have the energy, we've had all year, So get the ball to the playmakers and just let Pat be special, man, with the ball in his hand, man. So that's all we got to do.
Tyreek, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, we got Travis Kelce coming your way next.
Corvette. Popping him out.
Hey, Trav, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
All right, we'll get started. We'll start first with Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Travis, hope you're doing well today. Two quick questions for you. One, you're a Cleveland guy, so when you see that you're finally facing the Browns in the playoffs, just your overall thoughts on finally facing your hometown team, if you will. And also, what is it about Patrick Mahomes in this offense? Only the least amount of points you've scored in the postseason, 31 points since Patrick Mahomes has been in control. What is it about you guys that just flip the switch in the postseason?
I think to answer your first question, yeah, man, being from Cleveland and playing the Browns, it's definitely kind of up the ante a little bit. You know, it made it a little bit more personal. I absolutely love Cleveland, but I understand that we are each other's enemies right now. So I got a lot of friends and a lot of family back in Cleveland telling me I'm the enemy, and it's definitely going to be fun going up against the Browns, and it's going to be an exciting game. And to speak on the other point of the points scored, I think that everybody kind of locks in a little bit more and gets excited to play when the playoffs come around, especially in this building, especially 1-5 himself. He does everything he can to be ready for these moments, and it shows every single time he goes out there in the playoffs.
Let's go back to Pete Sweeney. Good, Pete.
Travis, the last time you guys played the Browns was 18, and you and Kareem, two Cleveland guys, you probably remember the game well, went off and had all these touchdowns. Just thinking back to Kareem and everything that happened and just where he is now, how thrilled are you for him? How often do you guys speak and so on and so forth?
I wish we spoke more often, man. That's my brother for life. To see what he's gone through and to see him grow from everything. I'm somebody where I had a few red flags coming out of college. It wasn't always, a whole lot of fun for me. I had to kind of break through some things that were tied to my name, and with that, it just you have to challenge yourself as a man, as a human. You have to grow from it. You have to understand how people are viewing you, and you have to move on knowing that. And I think Kareem's done an unbelievable job of just going out there playing football and keeping his head on straight. So I'm happy as hell for him.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Travis, we're learning that obviously you came back in the Man of the Year award challenge online. I want to take you back to the last time you played against the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, the team showed the video of your nomination. Just what did it feel like to watch the nomination and obviously be recognized? And then secondly, there were two kids in the video, Amari and Amir. I know you've gotten to know them over the last 5 years at Operation Breakthrough. What's it just been like to get to know them and have a real relationship with those guys?
Yeah, Amari and Amir, man, those guys, they'll light up the room every single time they walk in it, man. It's just two kids that are absolutely, very aware of their situation, but at the same time, man, they love life, man. They love life. They appreciate, what Operation Breakthrough is and everybody that's in that building that helps them, and it's just it's a beautiful thing, man. And to be honest, during the Falcons game when I was getting recognized, we were losing at that point, so it wasn't a fulfilling moment. You know what I mean? We were trying to secure the first round bye and or at least the first seed in the AFC, and my mind was more focused on that than it was actually. But Fish actually gave me a little tap and he said, "Hey, man, congratulations!" So that was about as excited and understanding that I got on the field when I was being recognized.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Travis. Regarding Kareem, what do you feel like the last couple of years have been like for him since he's left here? And was it difficult for him to not be a part of things as you guys kept winning games the last couple of years? And Brad, I'll have one quick follow-up.
I can only imagine how it was for him. I can't speak on it. You know what I mean? Obviously, it was probably an uphill battle that he had to deal with mentally, as well as face the reality of things. And what that is, that everybody was kind of looking at him in a negative light. And he's a guy where he walks in the building as a teammate, as a guy, as a friend that I've learned to know. Man, he's never had that negative light on him because of his personality and who he's been in the building. So to have to deal with that, hats off to him for battling through that and finding his way back onto a football field here in the NFL, and I'm just happy for him, man.
Okay, and you also mentioned earlier that everybody out there really locks in at playoff time. and you said particularly Pat. How have you seen that with Pat? What tells you that he's particularly locked in this week?
Just it's the small conversations of making sure that everybody is aware, making sure that everybody's on the same page. You can tell that he's been doing his homework for the past week and a half. Just talking to him understanding what every single team that we could possibly face is doing defensively, and then sure enough, as soon as we found out on Sunday who we were playing, he was right there. I had a whole notebook ready for the Cleveland Browns, and I think right now we're just we're in the process of figuring out the game plan, and I think, like I said, what Pat does the best is communicate exactly what he's seeing and how he feels we need to attack the defense, and all those conversations are extremely relevant during the game. So,
got time for a few more. We'll go right down the line, starting with Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Travis. You touched on this earlier, but I wonder if you could expand upon it a little bit. Just your family and friends back home, just the dynamic of, are they still Browns fans? Obviously, they're Travis Kelce fans, but what is the dynamic of who they root for?
I mean, it's I got no hard feelings, man. I understand what it means to be a Cleveland sports fan, and to be a diehard at that. And I think a lot of the close friends and family are going to be wearing their Chiefs gear, but maybe throw a orange shirt with a nice brown helmet on underneath or something like that, man. It's definitely going to be mixed feelings for a lot of people that I know, but at the same time, I'm going in with a mindset that Kansas City Chiefs got to win this game.
Go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Travis. You mentioned a few times this year how the crowd still a limited capacity, but that you've felt that energy all season long. Just how excited are you to feel that on Sunday back in the playoffs? And also, are you repping Tyreek's brand there on your shirt?
Oh, yeah. I'm a soul runner. I might not be as fast as Tyreek, but I'm still a soul runner. You can't take that away from me. Shout out to Tyreek and what he's doing with the soul runner and everything he's doing in the community, man. The guy's unbelievable. But to go back to I'm sorry, what was the first question you had? My apologies.
Just feeling the playoff environment. I know it's a limited capacity crowd, but you've mentioned how the crowd all year, just 17,000 or whatever, still brought it every single game. How excited are you to feel that?
I'm excited to see how we take it up a notch. The playoffs, us on the field can't be the only ones that take it up a notch. So the Kingdom, we're hoping that you're loud and proud and ready to wreak havoc just like we are.
We'll go last to Mackenzie Nelson. Go ahead, Mackenzie.
Hey, Travis, I was just wondering, as you guys enter the playoffs, is there anything that sticks out to you or anything that's different about this year's team versus last year's?
I would say the biggest difference is just the confidence that we have in knowing who we are and knowing how to be the best us, if that makes sense. I think what Coach Reid has done, I've said this a million times, I think what he does is he presents a challenge for us week in and week out. And as a player, as a leader, to follow, a guy that knows what he's doing like that, to be able to hear what he has for us and to keep attacking that challenge, and week in and week out find ourselves, having success through meeting those expectations and winning those challenges. I think it's just a flawless process that Coach Reid has been able to put forth, and with that, we've all been able to grow within that and have fun doing it.
Brad, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, check out Cheetah, man. Soul runner, baby.
All right, guys, we got Patrick Mahomes coming up next. Hey, Patrick, you ready?
Ready to go.
All right, we'll start first with Danny Welniak. Go ahead, Danny.
Hey, Patrick. I just want to revisit something with you regarding playing Big 12 quarterbacks and how exciting it is to be doing this now in the playoffs against a guy like Baker Mayfield, and how much that rivalry still lives on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's cool to get to play against him in such a big game in the playoffs and everything like that. Knowing him for a long time, since I was a senior in high school, and to be able to play on this stage it's going to be special. And I mean, he went to Oklahoma, went to Texas Tech, so he got the better of me in college. So I'll try to do my best to win in the NFL.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick. Travis just mentioned that as soon as you knew it was the Browns, that you basically had a notebook ready to go as far as preparation. Can you kind of describe when you initially started preparing for who you were going to play and what the very first preparations were?
Yeah, I mean, right when the bye week started and we knew who the seeds were for the 7, 6, 5, 4, all those seeds that we could possibly play, I took a day where I watched each team, about 4 or 5 games of each team. And so just kind of get a general feel of what the defense is presenting, what offenses are doing to try to attack them from different teams, different offenses. And so I had a day's worth of film on the Browns. So whenever we found that out, I was able to look back at that, look at my notes, and try to see how it presents to us.
Let's go next to Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Patrick, this is a slightly different topic, but we see you when you're mic'd up doing stuff like telling guys nice hit and kind of making a point of exhibiting sportsmanship. And I'm curious why that matters to you and maybe how you define sportsmanship.
Yeah, for me, I just love the game. So I respect everybody else just as much as they respect me. And being able to go out there and play the sport that we love, I understand everybody's grind. Everybody's putting everything they have every single time they're on the field. And I mean, trust me, I want to win, but I respect everybody's grind of getting out there. And so I'm gonna do what I can to show that I appreciate them as much as I appreciate the guys on my team.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick. Do you feel like you prepare any differently for a playoff game than you would a regular season game? And Brad, I'll have a quick follow-up as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just take your intensity up a level. I mean, it's still the same preparation, just maybe try to dive deeper into the film study, dive deeper into the breakdowns and the different ways you can go out there and have success against a defense. But, I mean, just taking it to another level would be the biggest thing.
Okay, and it's been 2 weeks now since you've played a game. Did you do anything special over this time to stay sharp, or just the things you normally would do?
Yeah, I mean, I stayed on top of everything. I practiced as much as I could practice, getting reps in, making sure I get back to the fundamentals of the footwork and stuff like that, and then continue to work out and prepare myself. We didn't start the way we wanted to last year when we came off the bye, and so I want to make sure that we do a better job of starting a little bit faster and try not to put ourselves in that deficit.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick, last year, the early deficit in the playoffs were certainly kind of an identity for you. You put them on the Super Bowl rings. But this week, how much of that's a conversation, between you, the players, and the coaches, and how big of a focus is it this year to get off the faster starts?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a lot easier. I think you could say that. It's not something that we necessarily talk about. I think it's just kind of understood, is that we need to come out playing our best football, playing the team that we're playing. They are coming in with a lot of confidence, playing really good football. And so we want to do whatever we can to get off on the right foot and try to build a lead early because, they're a good football team that's able to win football games. And so we're going to make sure that we come with our best effort from the first snap.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Patrick, it seems like some of the teams that have had success against you defensively have this ability to get pressure to you without blitzing. The Browns somewhat fall into that category. Knowing that going in, how does that maybe change your preparation or mentality as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to focus on the fundamentals for myself. I think it's the biggest thing. Trusting the O-line, trusting the game plan, and get the ball to my hands. The good thing about this team is we have a lot of great playmakers that can make plays happen in space. And so if I'm getting the ball out of my hands and getting it to them, if that's holding it, stretching plays out and throwing deep passes, or if that's getting it out quick, whatever way, in order to have success on the field, I'll try to do that.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Patrick, hope you're doing well. I just wanted to ask you about the Browns' defense. You're kind of, in your notebook, what you saw to them, especially Myles Garrett. You guys, especially with the communication with the offensive line, how have you corrected that to face a guy like Myles Garrett just coming in, I think, the third most sacks of anybody in the postseason that's left?
Yeah, I mean, I'm same way. I've known Myles for a long time, being in high school, and I trust he was the exact same size in high school as he is now. So I'm glad I didn't play him then. But he's a tremendous player, plays extremely hard, has a ton of talent, and that they have talent across that whole entire defense. And so for us, it's about executing at a high level, getting the ball out of my hands, kind of like I said, letting guys make plays, and we're going to have to play our best football if we want to win a football game at the end of the day.
We've got time for a couple more. We'll go Sarin and then Nate. Go ahead, Sarin.
Patrick, I'm curious, having been through everything you guys did, won all the 3 comebacks last year in the playoffs, accomplishing the championship and everything. How different is your confidence level right now? Like, I know you were confident last year, but now not thinking you can do it, but knowing you can do it. How different is it this year?
Yeah, I mean, you understand what it takes. I think that's the biggest thing. It's not easy. You have to put in a lot of work, but you understand that you can do it. And so just trying to keep it in perspective, going out there, having fun, enjoying it, playing to the best of our ability, and then letting things handle itself. And so we have a lot of veteran guys on this team now that have been through it. And so we're going to go out there with the mentality of not trying to get in those deficits again, but just try to find a way to win a football game and play the right way.
We'll go last to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Patrick, I have 2 questions for you. The first goes back to your film study. The Browns played 4 common opponents from you guys: Baltimore, Las Vegas, Houston, and New York. Just how much were they a part of the film study in terms of figuring out what might work for you guys? And then Brad, I'll have a follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely were. I mean, you see those different offenses, and they do a lot of the similar things that we do. And then I try to look at offenses like the Texans and stuff like that do a lot of the similar type of stuff that we do, as well as Philly and all these other teams. And so you try to take away from the formations that they're in that are similar to ours. And even though we do different things out of those formations, you can kind of see where their defense is at and how they're combating that. And then they're going to make adjustments, and we're going to be able to make adjustments during the game.
And then lastly, this often gets forgotten, but your legs were part of a dynamic with the offense last year. Obviously, it coming healthy as the season went along last year. Just how much do you feel like your legs may be an element that obviously the Browns have to sort of respect and game plan for as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to take what's there and what presents itself. I think the best thing about the playoffs, you can't leave anything on the field. You got to leave it all out there. And so if it gets presented to me and I'm able to use my legs, I'll try to do that and try to stay away from getting those big hits and everything like that. But you definitely take it to a new level when it gets to the playoffs. And so we're excited to be here, and we're excited to find a way to win a football game.
Patrick, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.